Long, long ago, there were many kinds of plants and animals that do not exist today. How do we know this? From fossils. With fossil evidence, scientists can piece together the mystery of what the Earth and its living things were like in the past. My name is Mr. E. Solver. I'll be your guide in your fossil adventure. Together, we'll look for the message in the fossils. Are you ready? Let's go! Now, which level do you want to try for this dig? Just click on your choice. Great! Let's start digging, partner! Welcome to Fossil Park. Thanks for joining our team of paleontologists. Your job is to dig for fossils, identify them in the fossil collection, and use them to build a diorama in the museum. Why don't you start by taking a tour of Fossil Park? Just click on this button. Hi! Thanks for joining our tour. I'm Mr. E. Solver, your guide. I'll give you a quick tour of what you can see and do here at Fossil Park. At Fossil Park, paleontologists like you dig for fossils, identify them, and then use them to build dioramas in the museum. The dioramas show our visitors how different habitats may have looked long, long ago. Let's start by looking at a dig site. You can recognize a dig site by its crisscrossing strings. Click on a dig site now. Great! Off to the dig we go! Here we are. This is a dig site. Before you start to dig, you'll need to choose a square. Click on one of the squares now. You have several tools to help you in your work. If you don't know how to dig, you can always go to the Look, Listen, and Dig workshop. Let's go over there now. At the Look, Listen, and Dig workshop, you can see a real dig site in action. The diggers will be happy to explain their work to you. Whenever you want to get back to your dig, all you have to do is click on the Dig Site button. Click on it now, please. At your dig, you'll be looking for fossils. Like all dig sites, some squares have fossils and others do not. When you find a fossil, it will be put on the shelf up here. Then you can go to the fossil collection to identify what you found. Come on, I'll show you how to get there. Do you see this button? Click on it and we'll go straight to the fossil collection. The fossil collection is where you can find information on fossils that you uncovered at your dig, or just any fossil that interests you. You may come here at any time. The fossils are arranged in two groups: plant fossils and animal fossils. Let's look at the animal fossils. So click on the dinosaur. When you want to get information on a fossil, all you have to do is click on it. Here, you can read some information about the fossil, and you can see how the living thing that left the fossil may have looked. After you identify the fossils from your dig, you can go on to the museum. Our last stop on the tour is the museum. This is where you, our new paleontologist, will be invited to build a diorama with the fossils you found. When you finish, you can write and record an explanation for all the visitors that come to Fossil Park. That's it! Hope you enjoyed your tour. To leave the museum, just click on this button and you'll be back in the sunlight at Fossil Park. Welcome back to Fossil Park. Thanks for joining our team of paleontologists. Your job is to dig for fossils, identify them in the fossil collection, and use them to build. Let's name the dig site. Choose a name you like and drag it over to the dig site. When you're finished, click on OK. Welcome to Digger's Delight. One of the paleontologists has already dug some of these squares, but nothing was found. Now it's your turn to look for fossils. The bucket's full of dirt. Ah, too bad. There isn't any fossil in this square. But don't give up. Well, the way to dig. Here's what you can do now. You can choose another square, you can look up your fossil in the fossil collection, or you can go to the museum with your fossil. You can drag the hand magnifier to the fossil to see it close up. If you want to get an idea of your fossil's size, click on the measuring stick now. you dig? Why don't you see how real paleontologists dig? Just click on this button and join me at the Look, Listen, and Dig workshop. Bee! Ah, too bad. There Ah, too bad. There isn't any fossil in this square. But don't give up. Now, do you see any labels out there? A label shows where you have found a fossil. A red bucket shows where you have started digging, and the green bucket shows where you dug last. Do you see the green bucket? It shows the square where you were digging last. A label shows where you have found a fossil. If you want to know what you've done and what is left for you to do, you're in the right place. I'll tell you how to read this report. Just click on me. Each skull stands for a fossil you have found. After you identify a fossil, a label appears on the skull. I can see that you haven't identified any fossils yet. We can learn about fossils by comparing. This is where you choose a fossil to look up in the fossil collection. If you want to know what a button does, click on it now. To go back to the entry, this fossil came from an ancient plant. Scientists think that the ancient plant looked like a plant that lives today. Click on the hand magnifier to see a picture of today's plant. If you think that this is the best way to describe the fossil you dug up, click on OK. Thinking. You labeled your fossil correctly. This is where you can type your own notes. You might like to add information that you find at the library. Your notes will help you later in the museum. If you think that this is the best way to describe the fossil you dug up, click on OK. Otherwise, keep looking through the collection. Thinking. You labeled your fossil correctly. This is where you can type your own notes. You might like to add information that you find at the library. Your notes will help you later in the museum. Welcome to the museum. Bring your fossils and we'll build a diorama. The diorama will show what some habitats looked like long ago. Before we can work with fossils, we need to label them. The fossil collection will help you label your fossils. If you think that this is the best way to describe the fossil you dug up, click on OK. Otherwise, keep looking through the collection. Well done! You identified your fossil correctly. If you think that this is the best way, well done! You identified your fossil correctly. This is where you can type. Say, listen to this. The museum has a storeroom full of large skeletons that are not yet complete. You can put one of those skeletons into your diorama and then check whether your fossil bones belong to it. To open the storeroom, click on this button. Uh-oh, these bones don't belong to this skeleton. If you want to choose a different skeleton, just click on this button. You can turn the fossil around. Wow, what a creature! Now that you've finished putting your fossils in your diorama, click on the OK button. You've finished putting your fossils in your diorama. Now it's time to find the right habitat. Click here to choose a habitat. Now that you've finished putting your fossils in your diorama, click on the OK button. Oops! This habitat doesn't suit the dinosaur. Look at all your fossil evidence and try to find clues about the habitat. The habitat you chose for the diorama is perfect. It matches your fossil evidence. You did a fine job as a paleontologist. Congratulations, my fellow paleontologist! You found the message in the fossils. Please accept this award for a job well done. If you'd like to record an explanation of your diorama, go back to the museum now. If you don't want to record your voice, go back outside to Fossil Park. Don't forget to save your work. I'm looking forward to seeing you again soon at a new dig.
Amber, backbone, bison, burrow, cast, cliff. Skull. Skull. The skull is the head bone. The skull covers and protects the brain.
Wait! Don't you want to save this dig before you stop working? If you do want to save it, click on the Save button now. If you don't, click on Exit again. Your work on this dig has been saved. You can keep on working, or you can leave by clicking on the Exit button.
Welcome to the Look, Listen, and Dig workshop. Everybody has a job to do at the dig, and we'll be happy to tell you about it. Have you been wondering what life is like at a dig site? Take a look at the pictures in this album. The album belonged to my grandfather, who worked at a famous dig back in 1930. The dig was in the Gobi Desert in Mongolia, a country near China. This is the Gobi Desert in Mongolia, a country near China. The Gobi is a huge desert of mountains, canyons, and rocky sand. This is our tent camp, where we eat and sleep during the digging season. It is June 1930, the beginning of a new digging season. Here are our camels as we come into camp. Here we are, busy working at the dig. The site is about 2 miles from our camp. Time to eat! This tent is our dining hall. Meet the famous fossil hunter, Roy Chapman Andrews. He was sent by the American Museum of Natural History. Andrews and our team have found many dinosaur skeletons, skulls from the earliest mammals, and the first bunches of dinosaur eggs ever seen. It's a dinosaur. Look how the bones are spread out on the ground, just as we found them. We're on our way home. It's October 1930, and we are in Beijing, in China. All the fossils we found are packed up for safekeeping.
I think I hit something here. Oh, it's a fossil. I'll use the pick to get it out. See, what's that? Oh, a dinosaur bone.
I think I found something here. Let's use the brush to clean the dirt off. Look, it's a fossil.
Hi, I'm a paleontologist. In my job, I study fossils. Fossils are evidence of what lived here long ago. They help us piece together the story of the past. What do these fossils tell us? Think about it. Well, I think we have a backbone here. This looks like the backbone of a dinosaur.
Hello. Let me tell you about my job. I keep records of all the fossils we find in the dig. Let me explain. I photograph each fossil and write down the square in which it was found. My work helps the paleontologists study the evidence from the dig and draw their conclusions. Would you like to help? Please write down the name of the square where this fossil was found.
Good work! Thanks for your help. Now let's see what the other people are doing at the dig.
My job is to set up a grid. The grid helps us keep a record of where we find the fossils. Let me show you what I do. First, I measure the site. Then, I divide the site into squares and mark them with crisscrossing strings. The squares must all be the same size. Each square has a name. The name is made up of a letter and a number. For example, this square is called C1, and this square is called B2.
Look, we sift all the dirt that is dug up.
Now keep your eye on the sieve.
Hold on, I think I see something.
Wow! A fossil shell.
Well, hi there again. This is where you can see how scientists work at a real dig. If you want to find out about buttons or anything else on the screen, click there now. Careful! If you start over, all your work will be erased. If you're sure you want to start a new dig, click on this button again. Wait! Don't you want to save this dig before you stop working? If you do want to save it, click on the Save button now. If you don't, click on Exit again. Your work on this dig has been saved. You can keep on working, or you can leave by clicking on the Exit button. Bye-bye now. See you next time.